Hey everybody, I'm back. I was away in Colorado over the weekend, had a great time. I am back. Got back on Sunday. I sent out the new issue of MMT Trader last night. Make sure you get that if you want that. If you are not a subscriber, go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com, and sign up for a 30-day free trial of MMT Trader. A lot of stuff in there as usual. I want to talk about the markets, but first, let me make a comment. I got an email from a guy yesterday saying that he wanted to cancel the service because it was too much of a short term trading service. So, let me make a statement about that. What I do and what I offer is in no way at all a short term trading service. All of the macro themes that we have been following now, basically since the beginning of my report, since its inception, which I believe goes back to March 2016, have been based on my major macro themes, which really I formulated back in December of 2015 when the Fed reversed course on monetary policy. At that time, it was the first time in 9 years that the Fed had started to raise interest rates, and that changed my entire macro theme. I started talking about, how you need to be invested in gold, how you need to have a bullish inflation outlook, as in inflation rising, a short treasury outlook, a short dollar outlook. Okay, all of these things. So we have been riding these macro themes. These are not short-term trades. If you say something like that, if you get my report, and if that, is how you come back to me, then you obviously have not followed the report. You have not followed my videos. You have not followed my emails that I send out in conjunction with the report. It's absolutely insane to say something like that because it is not a short-term trading service. We have had positions on there, been in positions for over a year and a half, okay, including stock positions, which we have done phenomenally well on individual stocks. Okay, 60, 70, 80, 100% on many things. We just closed out one yesterday, Valero, with a 60% gain. So don't come to me and say, this is a short-term trading service, because if you say something like that, then basically you never even looked at it. And if you have no interest in making some sort of a commitment into looking at what I provide, then don't come to me. Don't bother me. Don't even ask for a 30-day trial, because I've talked about this in the past. These certain kind of people who I call self-flagellators. These are people who they deem themselves, whether they understand this or not, because it could be very much a subconscious thing, they deem themselves not worthy of good things, okay? I know right away many of the people who come to me who are the ones who are going to succeed and those who are not going to succeed. And the ones who succeed are the ones who value themselves. Okay, it starts with that inner value, inner acceptance. The ones who value themselves deem themselves worthy of good things. They deem themselves worthy of expanding their horizons, their understanding, their knowledge, their experiences, their strength, their resilience, all of that stuff. The others are just looking for shortcuts. They want to be picked up in a ball of cotton and carried across the finish line without any effort. Those who value themselves also understand that commitment and discipline and work come with the territory, and they are willing to put that in. They're willing to make the sacrifices, okay? That same guy who sent me that thing saying, oh, you're a short-term trading service, that's an idiotic, stupid comment, also said he can get what I'm offering for 5% of the cost, which is absolutely laughable. I don't care who you go to. You could talk to Warren Mosler. You could talk to Stephanie Kelton. You could talk to Bill Mitchell, all the top academic gurus of MMT. Indeed, you could call them the founders of MMT. I know all of them personally. I had a very close relationship with Mosler for a long time. none of them, point number one, none of them do what I do, which is an applied, systematic MMT approach to the markets. And number two, myself and a good friend of mine, who I often refer to as my very smart friend, we have come up with insights, unique insights that none of the other guys, I'll tell you something about all the other top MMT people, supposedly. The only thing they look at is the deficit, which is ridiculous. They don't even understand that the deficit, number one, is kind of meaningless. The country could be running a surplus and you could still have a booming economy and runaway inflation, all right? And number two, and I brought this to the attention of these people before, and they just kind of dismiss it, but, to their loss, to our credit, it's about the flows, the fiscal flows. You don't even know what the deficit is going to be. That's an ex post that comes later. You don't even know what the deficit is going to be until the government spends money first. And as you know, the flows are the main thing that I look at. Plus, we've come up with other things that nobody else has. I don't care if it's Goldman Sachs. I don't care if it's the MMT people. I don't care who it is. And certainly not these dopes who post up kind of faux MMT crap online on YouTube, which is basically glorified charting or technical analysis. We've come up with things like the relationship between treasury flows and the banking system and the impact on leverage ratios and bank credit, loans and leases, that sort of stuff. Nobody else has that. Nobody else has that. Or looking at currency holdings at the Fed and extrapolating that into exports and what's going to, we know already what's going to happen in the weekly EIA petroleum status report. Nobody else. I mean, we've broken absolutely new ground in terms of applying MMT's understanding the markets and discerning new and very, very useful relationships. None of these other people do that. You read Kelton's work, the deficit is going down. They've been wrong for so long with the stupid deficit. We don't look at that. So don't come to me and say this kind of stuff, because if you do, you're an idiot. All right? All right, that's all I want to say about that. Number two, let's talk about the markets here. Those of you who have been receiving my emails, you know that last week, for the first time in a very, very long time, I got a little bit cautious on oil. Now, we had been holding the long oil position for a long time, basically playing the long side of oil since late January 2016. We made some short trades in between and made money on that, but really mostly playing the long side. And I've been the one who has been correctly reading these weekly inventory reports. And by the way, they're not just inventory reports. They're inventory, their demand, their imports, their exports. As I tell you every week, you have to know how to synthesize that information, and we do. Ask anyone who's been with me, a subscriber for a while now. They will tell you that my oil forecasts have been absolutely brilliant, on the money. Nobody can surpass them. Nobody can surpass them. But I got a little cautious last week. Probably a temporary situation. We'll have to see. I want to see the reports coming out tonight, API, and tomorrow, the EIA report. We sold out our Valero position with a 61% profit yesterday. All right. We have a lot of stocks like that. Well, we have 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, over 100% return on a lot of stocks. Stocks that I've been holding for a long time. By the way, speaking of stocks, you see what happened to Seagate Technologies, STX. We bought that back in October when nobody wanted to touch that stock. Oh, you want a storage company? You want a hard drive maker? Are you kidding me? That's going out. That's old technology. That's so 1990s. Well, guess what? We bought it at 33. It's at 53 now. How do you like that? How do you like them apples? All right. So we're looking at oil. The dollar. Who's been calling that? I see articles now, just coming out now. I mean, I've been saying this since December 2015. Nobody was saying this. They all say, oh, higher interest rates, the dollar's going to scream, the dollar's going to go through the roof. Who was selling it? Who was buying the dollar in 2009? Yours truly. And I have videos on here. Go back and look at my videos from that time. I said the dollar is going to go into a long-term rally. And that's when every kook and nut job and top economist was saying that the dollar was going to crash because of QE. Money printing, they're printing money. They didn't know what they were talking about. I did. So, and now they're coming out, oh, the dollar's going down now. They don't even understand why. Or interest rates. I saw an article yesterday. Oh, we better start looking at interest rates. They're going up a little bit. They're going up. Who told you that? I told you that. How did I know? We know. I know because of MMT and its applied MMT. Don't tell me that you get it somewhere else. Don't tell me that everyone said they don't. I'm the only one who does it. The only one. You can't get it anywhere else. All right? And finally, and this is the most important thing, the mental game aspect. For so many of you who I've helped through difficult periods and held your hand and coached you, and now you have a strong and resilient mental game that has been because of me and the service that I provide, which is far more valuable than any sort of market forecasting. So think about it. See you later. Bye-bye.